Hello everyone, welcome to Inner Tales. I hope this story brings you a moment of peace and helps you learn English in a gentle, natural way. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to Inner Tales. Have you ever felt this? You tell yourself, I can't live without it. A person, a job, a phone, a dream. This is the story of a young man who learned a gentle truth. You can want something deeply, but you don't have to need it to survive. In a small Indian town, where evenings were slow and streets were soft with orange light, there lived a 23-year-old boy named Kiran. He was kind. He was hardworking. But when people spoke about him, they always said the same thing. Kiran? Oh, the boy with the watch. On his left wrist, Kiran wore an expensive silver watch. It was his pride, his treasure, his identity. He saved money for 2 years to buy it. Every time he looked at it, he felt taller inside. More important, more someone. When he walked through the market, he moved his arm just a little bit more so the light could touch the metal. When he sat with friends, he pulled his sleeves back so the watch was visible. It was never just time. It was value. It was, I matter. Maybe you know this feeling too. Maybe your watch is something else. At first, the watch was just a dream come true. Something he wanted and finally had. But slowly, quietly, something changed. One evening, Kiran's cousin asked him, Hi, if you go out without your watch, will you feel different? Kiran laughed. Of course, without it I'd look normal. Plain. His cousin looked at him carefully. So the watch makes you special? Kiran wanted to say no, but the truth was yes. He didn't feel special without it. Soon, he refused to wear shirts that covered his wrist. If someone didn't notice his watch, he felt a little disappointed inside. He didn't say it out loud, but the thought was there. If they don't see the watch, will they still respect me? Slowly, the watch moved from his wrist into his heart. It was no longer, I have a nice watch. It became, without this watch, I am less. One humid afternoon, Kiran was traveling to the nearby city by bus. The bus was crowded. Children cried. Vendors shouted. The road shook. He held the metal bar above his head. The bus jumped over a pothole. His hand slipped. Something brushed his wrist. He did not notice. Only when the bus stopped at the station and people began to get off, he looked down. His wrist was empty. For a moment, everything went silent. No voices, no traffic, no noise. Just that small, naked circle of skin. His heart began to race. He looked under the seat, on the floor, through his bag, in his pockets. Nothing. Cold sweat covered his back. He ran to the driver. He asked strangers. He checked the bus again and again. The watch was gone. It felt like he was gone. On the way home, his mind was not thinking about money. Not about the 2 years of saving. Not even about the watch itself. It was thinking about this one question, who am I now without it? He imagined meeting friends. He imagined walking through the market. He imagined their faces when they saw his empty wrist. Shame burned inside his chest. That evening, unable to sit at home, Kiran walked to the edge of town. There was an old park there with broken benches and a single neem tree watching everything. An elderly man sat under the tree reading a newspaper. His name was Mr. Rao, a retired school teacher everyone respected. Kiran sat on the same bench trying to hide his wrist. But some pains cannot be hidden. They show in the way you breathe. Mr. Rao folded his newspaper and asked softly, My son, what did you lose today? Kiran forced a smile. A watch, uncle, that's all. The old man watched him for a moment. Are you sure it is only a watch? The question cut deeper than he expected. Tearing suddenly appeared in his eyes. He whispered, "Uncle, I feel empty without it. I feel smaller." Mr. Rao nodded slowly. "Then you did not just lose a watch. You lost a part of yourself you had given to it." He picked up a small stone from the ground and held it out. "This is an object, just like your watch. If it breaks, nothing inside me is broken. But when we let an object hold our sense of worth, then every scratch on it becomes a scratch on our heart." He looked at Kieran's bare wrist. "Tell me honestly, if tomorrow every watch in the world disappeared, would your life lose all meaning?" Kieran shook his head instantly. "Of course not." Then, Mr. Rao smiled gently. "Your problem is not need. Your problem is belief. You believe you need it to feel valuable. You don't actually need it to live." The next day, Kieran had to go back to the city to report the lost watch. The night before, he stared at his wrist for a long time. His mind whispered, "Everyone will notice. They will think you are less. You cannot go like this." But then he remembered Mr. Rowe's words. Your problem is belief. So Kieran decided to do a small experiment. He stood in front of the mirror, took a slow breath, and said softly, "Today I will walk without the watch, and I will still walk as myself. No special clothes, no tricks, just him, his plain wrist, and a quiet promise. I will not hide." On the bus, his heart was beating fast. He expected stares, comments, questions, but something surprising happened. Nobody cared. The woman next to him was busy calming her child. The man in front of him was reading messages on his phone. The conductor was shouting for change. The world went on, with or without a silver watch on his wrist. For the first time, a tiny space opened inside him, a thought as small as a seed. Maybe I gave this thing more power than it ever had. Over the next weeks, Kieran began to notice other changes in his life. The friend who said, "I cannot live without my girlfriend," and lost himself every time she didn't reply to a message. The uncle who said, "Without work, I am nothing," and walked like a ghost after retirement. The student who whispered, "If I don't top the exam, my life is over," and stopped eating when the results came. Everywhere he looked, he saw the same pattern. Beautiful things turned into oxygen. Love turned into need. Work turned into need. Dreams turned into need. And behind every need too much, it stood the same fear. If I lose this, I lose me. One evening, Kieran went back to the neem tree. Mr. Rao was there again. "Uncle," Kieran said, "I think I understand a little now. It is okay to want things. It is okay to love them. But if I make them as important as air, then one small loss can destroy my whole world." The old man smiled. "It is wisdom, my son. Let your heart be full of wants. Wants make life colorful, but guard the door of need. Very few things should enter there. Air, food, basic safety, a little human warmth. Everything else, hold it gently, not too tight, not like a drowning man holding a rope. More like a friend holding another friend's hand." Months passed. Kieran saved money again. One day, he bought a new watch, but this time he wore it differently. Some days he left it at home on purpose. He walked through the market with his bare wrist, just to remind himself, "I am still me." When people praised his watch, he smiled. When they didn't notice, he smiled too. The watch was no longer his identity. It was just a watch. Nice to have. Now it is oxygen. and slowly a deeper peace entered his life. He began to love people without needing them to fill his emptiness. He began to enjoy his work without letting it become his whole life. He began to dream big without saying, "If this dream fails, I am nothing," because he had learned a quiet secret. You can walk with empty hands and still carry a full heart. Maybe your watch is something else, a relationship, a job, a dream, a number in your bank account. Ask yourself gently tonight, if this disappears tomorrow, will I be sad or will I completely collapse? If the answer is, I will collapse, then maybe it is time to move that thing from need back to want. Love it, enjoy it, take care of it. But remember, your value does not live in anything you can lose. It lives in the way you get back up after life takes something away. If this story stirred something in you, share one small thought in the comments. A memory, a feeling, a line that stayed. Your words might be what someone else needs tonight.